All right, let's do this. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Alliance.
Alliance?
Yeah, this crypto accelerator, it seems like it's everywhere these days.
Oh, right.
I mean, even I was intrigued just from their website. That $350,000 funding offer up front?
Yeah.
That's pretty hard to ignore.
That is a big number.
So we've got some stuff here from their site that you guys sent over, and we're going to break it down. What exactly is Alliance? Is it just another accelerator or something more? And should you, as a crypto founder, be really paying attention?
Well, from what I gathered, they don't just call themselves an accelerator. It's leading crypto accelerator and founder community.
Right.
There's a real emphasis on that elite tailored program.
Yeah.
That seems to be key to their brand.
I see. So it's not just the cash, right? It's about the connections, the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, definitely.
And they've got this interesting structure, right? 2 weeks in person in New York to kick things off.
Yeah.
Then 10 weeks fully remote. So that really opens it up to startups, all over the world.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But the question is, why Alliance? I mean, there are a lot of accelerators out there.
I think that $350,000 in funding on admission is a big, big draw, especially for, say, early stage startups.
Right.
And they've got those two investment tracks, right?
Yeah.
Standard deal, I think it is, for the early stage folks at a $5 million valuation.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have the non-standard deal for later stage companies or even deep tech startups that might need a higher valuation.
Okay, so 2 tracks based on basically where you are in your startup journey.
Okay.
But you know what really stood out to me?
What's that?
They're open to funding startups before they even do the program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
That's not typical, right?
Yeah.
Most investors want to see you jump through a bunch of hoops first.
Exactly. And from what I've heard, they're known to make decisions fast. I mean, we're talking less than a week sometimes.
Wow. So, if a startup needs funding urgently, but their timeline doesn't quite work out with the next cohort, they can still apply. And Alliance reviews applications year-round.
Oh, okay.
So they'll fast-track
Yeah.
the interview process for those promising startups that fit that mold.
That's pretty amazing.
So the speed is definitely a unique selling point.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about cutting through the red tape. But it can't be all about the money, right?
Right.
What about the mentorship and the network?
Right.
I mean, from what I read, that seems to be a huge part of why people are drawn to Alliance.
Totally. And you see it come up a lot in the testimonials,
Yeah.
The founders of, I think it was Xerion and Primodium, they talk about that.
Right.
The incredible community, access to top-tier mentors who've actually been there, done that in the crypto space.
Right.
People from, Tensor, 0x, Synthetics, StepN.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It's a heck of a network to tap into.
So you're not just getting money, you're getting this inner circle of crypto wisdom.
Exactly.
And and then if you make it to demo day, you can join Alliance DAO, right? Which is even more exclusive founder community. It's the VIP room of crypto, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But what does the actual program look like? Walk me through the structure.
Sure. So it starts with those 2 weeks in New York. Cohort meetups, building those relationships, getting to know the community platform, just laying the groundwork for collaboration and support.
So crypto boot camp.
Yeah, exactly. And then weeks 3 through 11, that all shifts to remote.
Right.
And that's where they really dive into the mentorship, the lectures, cover everything from, the real nitty-gritty of building in crypto to scaling your product. And then weekly check-ins, of course, to keep everyone on track, and then prep for the big event, Demo Day.
Ah, yes, Demo Day, the culmination of all that hard work.
Yeah.
What's the setup like for that?
So week 12, everyone's back in New York.
Okay.
And the startups get to pitch their polished ideas to a room full of leading VCs, angel investors, industry experts. They even get coverage from TechCrunch. So talk about exposure.
Wow.
It's their chance to shine, attract those serious investors.
It's the crypto equivalent of the Super Bowl or something, right?
Yeah.
High stakes, big spotlight.
Exactly.
And what happens after Demo Day?
Graduation. And for the ones that are presented, entry into that Alliance DAO.
Right.
The ultimate validation of their hard work.
Yeah. That's quite a journey. But let's talk about outcomes,
Right.
At the end of the day, you want to see results. How do Alliance startups, how do they actually do when it comes to fundraising?
Well, the numbers are pretty impressive. I mean, the median Alliance startup raises $3.5 million at a $25 million valuation post program.
Yeah.
And we're talking about investments from, The big names, Paradigm, Multicoin, Dragonfly. Those aren't just, any investors.
Yeah.
They're the big leagues.
So it's not just graduating from the program, it's like graduating into serious funding rounds.
Right.
And then those TechCrunch articles about their demo days, that just adds more fuel to the fire, right?
Oh, yeah.
It shows investors that, hey, these startups are worth a serious look.
Absolutely. It's more than money. It's validation from, really respected sources.
Yeah.
And that can make or break you in a competitive space like crypto.
For sure. Okay, so we've established that Alliance has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
But is it right for every crypto startup out there?
That's a good question. I mean, they do cater to both early stage and later stage startups.
Right.
But they really tailor the experience to each startup's specific needs,
So what does that actually look like? I mean, what are those key benefits for, say, a startup at each stage?
For early stage startups, it's really about getting that crucial help with customer development, really refining the product strategy.
Right.
They might have, the big idea, the potentially massive market, but they need that guidance on how to actually capture that opportunity.
And for later stage startups?
It's more about leveraging Alliance's expertise in, all the crypto-specific areas.
Right.
Token economics, regulations, go-to-market strategy.
Yeah.
These are things that can make or break a crypto project.
Absolutely.
And Alliance, they know how to help navigate those waters.
So, whether you're just starting out or you've already got some traction, Alliance has, something to offer. But both stages benefit from that network expansion and connections, right?
Yeah.
And that seems to be a constant regardless of where you are.
Absolutely. And those connections, they really have a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Impacting everything from sales and user testing to partnerships and of course, fundraising.
Right. Okay, so let's say a startup is interested in applying to Alliance. What's that process like?
So they run 2 cohorts per year. Each has 2 application deadlines.
Ooh, okay.
Early admission and regular admission.
Now, a lot of accelerators say apply early, but does it actually make a difference with Alliance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Applying early, it really maximizes their chances of getting in.
Okay.
Think about it, right? Most teams, they wait to the last minute.
Yeah.
So now you've got this huge pile of applications.
Yeah.
Alliance has to sift through. You apply early, you stand out, They've got more time to really dig into your startup.
Okay, so 2 cohorts, early application is key.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. But hold on, you mentioned 2 investment tracks earlier, standard and non-standard.
Right.
Let's break down, those funding details a bit further. What are the specifics of that $350,000 offer?
So for most startups, it's going to be the standard deal. Alliance invests at a $5 million valuation. They do it through a simple agreement for future equity.
Okay.
And that comes with a token side letter.
Right.
Now, for startups with stronger product market fit, maybe ones that are focused on deep tech, like layer 1 or layer 2 blockchains, or even ZKVMs, they might qualify for that non-standard deal, which lets them actually request a higher valuation when they apply.
Okay, so there's some flexibility based on, where the startup is.
Exactly.
The kind of tech they're building.
Precisely. And don't forget, Alliance has actually funded startups before they even participated in the program. So if a startup needs that funding, right away, but the next cohort doesn't, work for them, they can still apply and be considered for, immediate funding.
Wow. They really are willing to move quickly when they see potential.
Yeah.
But once a startup is accepted into the program, what happens to that funding? Do they, have to wait until the program actually starts?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Once a startup is in, Alliance kicks off the investment and KYC process. KYC's Know Your Customer, pretty standard procedure in finance.
Okay.
And for most teams, that takes less than a week.
Okay.
Once the paperwork's signed, KYC is done, payment details are all verified, they wire the funds.
Right.
So it usually happens within 1 to 2 weeks. And critically, before the program even starts.
Wow, that's incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
They really do get that money to startups quick.
For sure.
So we've got the funding, the mentorship, the network, the structure of the program. But I want to bring it back to our listener for a second.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most compelling reason for a crypto startup to consider Alliance? Why should they be excited about this?
I think it boils down to this. Alliance offers this comprehensive package, that understands those very specific challenges that crypto startups face.
Right.
They don't just provide funding, they provide guidance, the connections, and that platform to help these startups, not just survive, but really thrive in this crazy competitive crypto world.
That's well said.
Thanks.
And they definitely seem to have the track record to prove it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's still so much more to explore.
Right.
We'll dig into their unique, building in public philosophy next.
That's a good way.
And really unpack why Alliance is making waves in the crypto world.
Sure.
Stay tuned.
Definitely. One thing that really sets Alliance apart, I think, is their whole, emphasis on building in public.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, they've got a whole section on their website, founder resources, articles, podcasts. It's all about this approach.
That's interesting. I've heard that term thrown around, but honestly, I don't know if I totally get it.
Yeah.
Why is building in public so important? Especially for crypto startups. I mean, shouldn't you be protecting your ideas, keep things quiet until you're ready to launch?
Well, in crypto, transparency is everything.
Right.
Building in public, it lets startups kind of show their progress.
Yeah.
In real time, get feedback from the community, build that trust with potential investors and users.
Okay.
So a way to show, not just tell, that they're, the real deal.
So it's about building that trust from day one,
Yeah.
Being open and accountable.
Exactly.
And Alliance actually practices what they preach, right? They have their own podcast, Good Game, with Imran Khan and Kiao Wang.
Right.
All about, giving those insights to crypto founders.
Exactly. So they're putting their money where their mouth is, creating that platform for open dialogue, knowledge sharing. It's not just about competition. It's about raising the bar for everyone in the crypto space.
Yeah.
That commitment is rare and incredibly valuable for everyone involved.
Okay, so it's not just about their internal community.
Right.
It's about contributing to the larger crypto conversation. That makes sense. And we know they work with both, early stage, later stage startups. But are there any specific types of crypto companies that seem to really thrive in the Alliance program?
Well, they seem to be drawn to the startups working on the cutting edge.
Mm-hmm.
The innovators, the ones pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
So we're talking NFTs, security, wallets, AI, ZK proofs, dApp support. They've funded projects in all these areas.
So they're looking for those game changers.
Yeah.
Startups that could completely change the landscape of crypto.
Right.
And they're not afraid to back projects that are taking on some of the tougher challenges in this space.
Exactly. They want to see those bold ideas, the ones that, might sound crazy at first, but could revolutionize how we, think about blockchain and use it.
That's exciting. It sounds like they're not just investing in companies. Yeah. They're investing in the future of crypto itself.
Oh, sure.
But let's be real. I mean, getting into a program like this, it's got to be tough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be competitive to snag one of those spots.
So absolutely. They're incredibly selective. They're looking for the best of the best. The startups with the strongest teams, the most innovative ideas, the biggest potential to make an impact.
So for our listener out there who's thinking, hey, maybe Alliance is right for me.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them? What can they do to increase their chances of getting accepted?
First and foremost, I mean, they gotta know their stuff.
Okay.
They need a deep understanding of the crypto space.
Right.
A crystal clear vision for their project. They need to be able to explain, what is their value proposition? Who is their target market?
Right.
What makes them stand out, from the crowd?
Yeah. So it's not enough to just have, a cool idea.
Right.
You gotta prove you've done your homework.
Yeah.
That you're ready to, to play in the big leagues.
Highlight your team's experience, expertise, any traction you've already achieved.
Yeah.
Your commitment to that, building in public philosophy we talked about.
Right.
And of course, make sure you show how your vision aligns with, with Alliance's mission and values.
Oh, right.
They want to see that you're not just in it for the quick buck.
Right.
That you're truly passionate about building something meaningful in the crypto space.
Yeah, it's got to be genuine.
Exactly.
Great advice. So it's, it's that combination of, a killer idea, a strong team, a solid strategy, and a real commitment to the crypto ecosystem.
Exactly.
Now, we've talked a lot about, the specifics of Alliance, but let's zoom out for a second.
Yeah.
What does the rise of, crypto accelerators like this, what does it tell us about the bigger picture, about how the crypto industry is evolve?
That's a really interesting question. I think it shows that crypto is growing up. As the industry attracts more talent, more investment, we're seeing this need for specialized support systems like Alliance.
It's like moving from, a frontier town to a bustling city.
Yeah.
Right. You need more infrastructure, more specialized services.
Exactly.
To support that growth, that complexity.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It means that crypto startups have access to the resources, to the guidance they need to really scale their businesses, to navigate the complexities of this market.
So it's not enough to just have, a groundbreaking idea anymore.
Right.
You need the right support system.
Exactly.
To bring that idea to life and make it succeed.
And that's where accelerators like Alliance come in.
Yeah, they provide that infrastructure, that expertise, that network that can be, make or break for a crypto startup. Well said. Now, you mentioned earlier that, they review applications year round.
Yeah.
And they have those two deadlines, early admission and regular.
Right.
Do we know when those deadlines are for the next cohort?
Yes. The next cohort, ALL14, starts February 10th, 2025.
Okay.
So, mark your calendars. If you're thinking about applying, remember, the earlier, the better.
Right. Excellent reminder. Okay, so we've explored the program, the funding, the philosophy, the application process, but there's one more piece of the puzzle I wanna delve into.
Fair.
Those impressive fundraising numbers, right?
Yeah.
What is it about Alliance startups that attracts these top tier investors? Is it just the quality of the startups themselves, or is there like something more at play here? Let's unpack that next.
Okay, we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into Alliance.
Sounds good. We've covered a lot, the program structure, that big $350K funding offer, the mentor and founder network, and of course, their focus on supporting both those early and later stage startups.
Yeah, it's a pretty compelling model, and those post-program fundraising numbers, pretty eye-popping.
Yeah.
The median Alliance startup raising $3.5 million at a $25 million valuation. It speaks to, the kind of success they're fostering.
It really does. They're attracting some serious attention from those top tier investors. But what do you think is driving those successful funding rounds? Yeah. Is it just the quality of the startups they choose, or is there something more to it? What's the secret sauce here?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. First, their selection process, it's incredibly rigorous.
Right.
They're not just looking for good ideas. They're looking for, the right teams, the right market fit, the right combination of vision and execution.
So they're filtering out the noise, handpicking the startups with the highest potential.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then you've got the mentorship aspect, right?
Yeah.
These startups are getting guidance from some of the brightest minds in crypto.
Right.
People who have built successful companies. People who get it, understand the nuances of this space.
Yeah.
Can help them avoid those common pitfalls and make smarter decisions.
It's like having that all-star coaching staff guiding you through the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then you've got the network effect.
Yeah.
These startups aren't just getting mentorship. They're getting connected to investors, partners, potential customers, all through, Alliance's network.
Right. So it's not just what you learn in the program, it's who you meet, right? The doors that get opened.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's that building in public philosophy.
Yeah.
That transparency that builds trust with investors. It shows them that these startups are, committed to open communication, to community building, to being accountable for their progress.
So it's a combination of a really rigorous selection process, top-notch mentorship, a powerful network, and that commitment to transparency that really sets these startups up for success.
Absolutely. Alliance is setting the gold standard for crypto accelerators.
Yeah, no question. But with the crypto space getting more and more competitive, every day it kind of makes you wonder, is joining an accelerator like Alliance becoming less of a choice and more of a necessity for startups that really want to, stand out, make a real impact? What are your thoughts on that?
That's the question that's been kind of swirling in my mind, this whole deep dive. The resources, the connections, the validation that a program like this provides, those are incredibly valuable. in such a, a crowded, sometimes chaotic market.
It's like that stamp of approval we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It tells investors, hey, this startup's worth looking at. They've been vetted. They got the right support. They're, playing at a different level.
Exactly. And I think we're going to see more and more crypto startups realizing, they need that extra edge to compete. Accelerators like Alliance aren't just a nice to have anymore.
Right.
They're becoming a must have.
Yeah.
For serious players.
It's not just about getting the funding.
Right.
It's about getting that whole support system that can help you navigate, all the ins and outs of building a successful crypto company.
Absolutely. And Alliance is leading the charge in that regard.
Well, on that note, I think we've successfully navigated the depths of Alliance.
I think so.
We've explored their origins, their offerings, their impact, and really, what they mean for the future of crypto. Yeah. Hopefully this deep dive has given you a clearer understanding of what makes them tick and whether they might be, the right launch pad for your crypto journey.
And remember, if this has sparked your interest, Alliance is actively accepting applications for their upcoming cohorts.
Right.
That early application deadline's coming up fast. Don't miss out on the chance to, join this incredible community and take your startup to the next level.
That's right. Early bird gets the worm, or in this case, the funding and the mentorship.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of crypto accelerators.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.